Have you ever stopped and asked yourself why you're watching this video on DVD? Or why you watch any videos on DVD? Or why you even have a favorite creator that you probably have on DVD? And if so, have you ever asked yourself why you don't watch videos on Mario Party? Or the board game Sorry? Or whatever mobile video you probably play way too much on your phone that you don't want others to know about? That's because you care. Because secretly, you're not as casual as you might think you are. I think you, pretty much all of us as DVD players have been there before. We load into a match, we play it through, and it is just a grueling nightmare of a trial. Either the survivor team or the killer brought all meta perks, and they're using really efficient strategies, and it is just a difficult match. And then we finally make it to the end game, and we're wondering why this other person was trying so hard when we were just trying to have fun. And inevitably, we or somebody else will call whoever won sweaty for just trying to win. But if we really are just playing casually and just playing for fun, why is losing so frustrating? Why is it so annoying that somebody put in effort to try and win a PvP game? It's because we care. And we also want to see results. A lot of us have put in hundreds, if not multiples of thousands of hours on this game. And we would like to think that we got something out of it, that we've become better players. So we truly do want to see good results from all that time we've put in. We want our time to be respected. Ideally, if Dead by Daylight was a perfect game, somebody who's putting in less effort and just playing for fun should always lose to the person putting in more effort and attempting to win. There are exceptions to this that I will get and talk about later, but for the most part, less effort, less wins. The clown is rarely also the champion. And truly, if we are playing for fun, we shouldn't be getting mad when our face hits the floor and we fail. We shouldn't be thinking about loading into the next match as Blight with 4 slowdown. We should be laughing and queuing up for the next game, ready to laugh some more. So maybe we're angry because we also want to win. But herein is the problem with DBD and where a lot of its issues tend to pop up. Balance and MMR are fundamentally broken to non-existent because of the lack of MMR and the poor balance Dead by Daylight has had for so long. This means that usually high effort and high skill rarely don't see matched results. You're not rewarded for all that time and effort put in. And I think deep down we all know this, but we tend to handle it in a magnitude of different ways. And I think one of the most popular ways of handling this is by using the guise of playing for fun to soften the blow of unfair and uneven matchups that shouldn't really be happening. And sometimes people use this guise because competition is scary. It's very unsettling, especially in a game where you can be matched with anyone. I remember when I was young and I wanted to learn to play soccer. And there's different kinds of soccer. You can play competitively on a team for your school, or you can play what's called rec soccer, which is just recreational soccer. I would always, as a child, have queued up for recreational soccer because competition scared me. I didn't want to feel evaluated and judged. And if I did poorly, I didn't want to face honestly, I didn't want to face the humiliation of it. I didn't really have faith in my skills and I didn't want to test them. And then I started playing recreational soccer and I got frustrated when my teammates weren't good. And then I realized if I'm getting frustrated at my teammates for not being good, I don't think I'm in the right space. I'm not playing recreationally. I want to be better. I want to play a good game of soccer. And that translates to DBD. If I'm in DBD and I'm getting frustrated at my teammates for not playing well, but I'm also claiming I'm just here for fun, all of that stuff shouldn't matter. Unless I really do want to be better and I really do want to play a good game. And I want my effort and my skill to show in a result. I believe accepting that we want to win is not only good, but the healthiest way we can be in this game. And a really good step forward that a lot of us players need to make. And with that, I do have some recommendations. So if you actually want to get better as a survivor and learn and adopt some new, healthier mindsets with this new acceptance of where you're standing, I think Deadly Naya is an amazing person to go to. They do make some content, but they're really mostly available on Twitch. They stream almost every single night, and they're an insanely good player with a really good mindset and really do try to help other people improve. I think they're a phenomenal person to go check out. If Twitch isn't really your thing, Mr. Taterhead has a lot of really good YouTube videos breaking down multiple maps in different loops, and they're going to start making some short form content because right now they do have really, really good resources, but they're locked in really long videos. But great assets, both of them. I highly recommend you check them out. I think they're fantastic. If you want to get better at Killer, I highly recommend checking out Otofu. Many of you know them from their YouTube channel, but their Twitch streams every night are also way more informative. There's so much good information going on in their community almost every single night. So if you really do care about learning to get better at the game, both Killer and Survivor, if I'm honest, Otofu is a really good one. If you strictly just a Killer player and you want to win more and be more consistent at the game, I can recommend nobody higher than Momo7th. A good friend and somebody who's insanely good at the game. Earlier, I mentioned a Blight streak. They currently hold the world record for the longest Killer streak in DBD, with their Blight streak being nearly 2,000 wins in a row. And that's not because Blight is busted. They are, but it's also because Momo is just a wicked, incredible player. So if you want to learn a lot, you can learn a lot just by watching them. They do a lot of win streaks almost every night, and they play competitively as well. So there's a lot of good info to gain from them. And phenomenal streamers and content creators, all of them. I highly recommend if you actually do want to get better and stop getting frustrated with your teammates, a lot of these people can help. So briefly, I mentioned that effort and skill rarely ever result in a matching, well, results. And why is that? Why is DBD in this scenario where the players are competitive and have a lot of buy-in in the game, but the game itself doesn't really foster or take care of that drive that its players have? And that's because for the last nearly 10 years, the entire lifespan of the game, it has towed the line between being a PvP competitive game or a party game. And recently, with the 9.2 patch, I think Behavior finally landed on the decision that Dead by Daylight is a party game, which I don't think is the right decision, and I don't think it matches the community. And there's other games that kind of prove my thinking on this. One, we can go look at the very vast and recent graveyard of other horror ASIMs. Texas Chainsaw being a good example of the devs straight up saying that they don't care about balance and they made the game for fun. And within 2 to 3 months of the game being released, its players were crying and begging for balance to come to the game, because imbalance is only fun from the one side that has the imbalance, that benefits from it. We can definitely see this with something like VHS. VHS had a lot of promise. I think out of all the other ASIMs, it was the closest to becoming an actual true competitor to Dead by Daylight. But they didn't listen. They had a very imbalanced game. The game was extremely fun for the teen role. However, for the monster role, it was just extremely frustrating. It truly was what a lot of people claim DBD is, a bully simulator. And because of this, killer queues, monster queues, I apologize, were seconds long. Meanwhile, survivor queues were no less than 90 minutes long. I'm not exaggerating. About 90 minutes. If you go back and look at old Twitch streams, the streamers that were trying to queue up as teen played other games more than they actually played VHS. And VHS refused to listen to these players. They thought that fun was more important than balance. But again, fun is only existent in an imbalanced scenario for one side that's benefiting from it. It's not fun for the other side. You have to have balance and fun together in the proper measures. So after all this time, why did Behavior come to this conclusion that they want Dead by Daylight to be a party game? And I think it's because they saw the success of 2v8. I think they see how many people are queuing up for 2v8, and they got the idea and misunderstood why it's so popular. And they wanted to carry over the success of 2v8 to the core game mode 1v4, and it doesn't translate, and it's not why people play 1v4. And I think the extreme reaction to the 9.2 PTB from both sides of the game, both Survivor and Killer, really show that we don't want a party game. We want a fair and balanced PvP game. Now, I'm not saying everybody has to go out and train and play 8 to 9 hours a day, but we don't want to lose to BS and just have all of our time disrespected. Let me ask you this real fast. If you played Survivor, did you find Kaneki's kidnap tech entertaining? What about original 3-gen Skull Merchant? And because as a Killer player, this isn't going to age well, I'm sure. Do you find Conviction fun? How about getting a last stand stun through a wall? Excuse me? What? She stunned me through a wall? No, because there's no agency. Because that's party game mechanics. Because it's not fair, it's not balanced, and it's frustrating. You put a lot of time into this game. You care, you're watching this video. You care about Dead by Daylight. And you want your time respected. And behavior is not respecting that time by distilling it down to a party game. And I think this is even further proven by the fact that some of the most popular DBD videos are guide and build videos, teaching you how to play DBD better and more efficiently. The DBD player base is not as casual as many would like to think. And the people that do play the game super casually and come in every now and then, much like my roommates and my own girlfriend who only plays every now and then, they don't care what the balance is. They don't even scratch enough of the surface for any of these balance changes to change anything. They just come in, play for a few minutes, and dip out. They don't even really buy cosmetics. Those are truly casual players. And changes like this don't even affect them. The game is really no different to them. And even if it is, it's just more complex, if anything, and further drives them away. I think if behavior actually wants to respect its players' time and actually foster a healthy community where the players understand that they do want to win and what they actually really want is a fair but balanced and fun game, then they should adjust the game so that the results of a trial match the effort and skill put in by both sides. Whichever side puts in more skill and effort should come out victorious. And right now we're not seeing that because of the balance. And these changes, the most recent ones, really further push that away and make the game a lot closer to a party game, which I don't think any of us want. I think we want party game options. And so far, I don't think we've even really gotten that. With Lights Out, Chaos Shuffle, and 2v8, I think many of us are left frustrated expecting a casual mode when that's not really what they turn out to be. And I think Dead by Daylight needs to offer a space for players to relax in a low stakes setting where it actually is casual, something like a prop hunt mode, fully detached from completing gens and escapes, something completely actually a party game. Because as it is right now, you have something like, let's say, Chaos Shuffle. And Chaos Shuffle, for many, myself included, can be seen as a challenge. You're giving me random tools. What can I do with them? That's innately what the game is telling you. It doesn't change win, cons, escapes, kills. None of that changes. It's still Dead by Daylight. It is still PvP. There's just an added layer of challenge on top of it. And so players are going to play competitively, whether they realize it or not. And then if they don't realize that and they go against somebody putting in a lot of effort, they're going to come to the conclusion of, well, they're playing sweaty without realizing that they too are playing to win. Now, there are a few other issues, such as how much bounce should DBD have, because that's a whole other topic. And should we have a ranked mode or not? What would that look like? And that's all stuff I'll talk about in future videos. I think I've already given you way more than enough to consider. So stay tuned for that next time. I'm very excited to get into that stuff, and we'll be talking about this kind of stuff going forward. In fact, I'm going to start talking about DBD in the framework of a fighting game, because I actually believe Dead by Daylight's closest cousin in the gaming world is fighting games. So if you're interested in me breaking down Dead by Daylight with fighting game theories and ideologies, please stay tuned as I keep putting out videos thinking about Dead by Daylight in that sense. But that's just my thoughts. Please consider leaving a like and more ringing that subscription button. And if you have ideas for how you think the game should be balanced more, or some cool other game modes we could have that would actually be casual, please leave them in the comments below. I'd love to read them. Maybe we can send them together in a PDF or something to behavior and get some of those into the actual game, because it seems like they do listen lately. And if you actually want to hang out in a casual setting and just talk about all things Dead by Daylight or horror, I stream on Twitch every single night, and we just have a lot of fun while I also try to get better at the game. So with that being said, that's all I have for you today. And just, yeah, keep being a light in the fog.